This is the Rear Naked Chicks podcast.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
It's the Rear Naked Chicks. I'm Jordan.
I'm Maggie.
We're back again. Oh my God.
It's been a minute.
We haven't podcasted together in forever.
I know.
And
what is it, 2 months? 2 months? 3 months?
something like that. I don't know. I've had a million guests. You had to go back to fucking law school. Meh. And I've been gone. I was on vacation for 10 days, which is a crazy amount of time for me to be gone.
Yeah.
How
was it?
Oh my God. Okay. It was great, with some exceptions, which I will definitely get into. I know I teased the choking out a groomsman thing on Instagram.
Incredible.
I'll definitely have to tell a story, but in general, like, I don't ever leave the house for a week plus, so this was like insane. So we went from here to North Carolina for my sister's wedding, and then from North Carolina to Jamaica because we had that vacation that we were supposed to be on that vacation in February, and Ian tore his ACL, and so we had to cancel it. So we had to retake that vacation before like the year ran out, otherwise we lost our money. But before we get into my craziness, any updates with you? Actually, there is one thing I definitely want you to talk about.
I don't know if I have any updates. I mean, I do this.
You have one?
I feel like I don't know which one. What one?
A jiu-jitsu related update. Apparently, you're more famous than you realized at your...
Are we talking about my coach? Oh my God, yes. So I went back to Albany, went back to school, went back to my gym, and just pretended that this whole summer and the whole podcast and the whole thing never happened. And I had never told anybody there about him or about my history with training. Like I said, I trained under Vlad Kulikov, who I trained under right before them. But that was it. I never set, I kept it on the down low because it's embarrassing. Because he's gross. So, and no one ever said anything when I came back, and I was kind of maybe they saw it, maybe they didn't. I don't know how far it reached, but I was I'm not going to bring it up if they're not. And then I was talking to my coach after class, and, I don't even remember what I was saying. Something about just, I'm not very, confident or aggressive in jiu-jitsu, that kind of thing. And he was like, well, I know you can be confident because you were really confident to do that podcast. And I was like,
called out.
He was like, yeah, you definitely, you have confidence if you can do that. And I was just and he's like, yeah, I used to train under John Danaher, so I knew who Carl was. And I was like,
did he know him by his name of Creepy Carl?
I didn't even ask. I mean, this was a while ago. I don't even remember what years he said he trained there, but I think he left there in 2011 or something. So I don't even know.
Mad long.
I don't even know how well or if he just knew the face, knew who he was. I'm not, I didn't even ask. I was just oh, okay. So yeah.
Awkward, but
very awkward.
Well, I feel like it's such a small world. You almost have to expect that,
right.
If people have heard about it, and then if they're oh, wait a minute, I know her, then it just, spreads.
Well, that's what he said. He was oh, it popped up on Instagram, and I was wait, I know that girl. Yeah, that's me.
I get a lot of people messaging me, an ad from Alchemize that has one of our TikToks in it, and I'm yep, that's me. I'm glad you saw it. Oh, man. So I'm trying to think if there's anything people need updating on besides that, but probably not really.
No.
I'm just training. You're training in Albany. Sometimes I make her come to Gorilla with me on a Friday, or we'll go to Bataille to visit Alex. I got asked to do I'm going to do the commentary with Dan Mina for the Iron Woman grappling, Athena. So that'll be awesome. I have never done it before. I'm actually super unsure of how I'll be at it.
I feel like it'll be good. I think,
I was like, I mean, I can do the talking. I can talk a lot.
Right, you can definitely talk a lot. And I feel like you give commentary on, like, everything you're doing ever, So I don't think it's going to be any different than you just exist.
I'm just narrating it. I just hope I don't, like, say some dumb shit, like, call something, single leg X when it's some other fucking thing I never heard of from 10th Planet, because I only ever learned Henzo stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm pretty stoked about that. Just to, like,
I wish I could go.
I know. Where are you going again?
Iowa.
Oh yeah, what the fuck? What's in Iowa?
So it's a law school competition. It's a negotiations competition. So it's like the regional thing.
Nerd shit.
It's nerd shit.
Nice.
And it's, I don't know when the last time I even, like, thought about Iowa was. Like, it's just a place that's not on the map in my head. So when I found out we were going to Iowa, I was like, Iowa?
Well, I have, like, a grandfather from Iowa, actually. He's not, like, my biological one, but he's the one whose family I was more close with growing up. So, like, my mom left my dad for a woman named Angela when I was 2, and I didn't really know my mom's family, so my other mom, Angela, that was her family that I kind of grew up with. All my cousins and grandparents were them. Anyway, my papa, my Angela's dad, is from Iowa, so that's the only thing I know about Iowa.
I don't know anyone from Iowa, and I started texting people that I thought were from Iowa, and they'd be like, nah, Minnesota, kind of close. Like, I'm like, damn, who do I know?
Are they close? Bro, I could not tell you on a map where Iowa or Minnesota
I mean, I don't know if it's, like, neither could I. I don't know if it's geographically close, or if it's just, like, conceptually close, Like another place.
They're in between California and New York.
And just, like, one of those states that, like, when you're from New York, you don't think about it,
I don't even know. Like, I couldn't tell you if one is, like, snowy or tornado-y. I feel like I want to believe that there's corn in both.
There's definitely corn. I feel like there's corn in, like, most.
But there's corn
states.
in New York.
Yeah.
We got cornfields.
And the center of the country is just, like, it's just all corn, right?
Just make corn here. Well, so we went to Jamaica. There was an hour and a half drive from the airport to the resort. And as we're driving, I see this insane looking dome. And I'm like, are they building like a Mormon temple here? Like, what is happening? And I asked the guy who's driving, and he's like, oh, that's the aluminum, like, extraction dome. And so it wasn't under construction. It was literally like a dig site for aluminum. And I was like, holy shit, I forgot, like, elements come from Earth and we have to mine them.
Right.
So that was, I'm stupid, but that was an interesting revelation for me. We're still mining.
And your first thought was a religious community.
Well, it was, like, very domey. It looked like some sort of a temple to something. Yeah. And I don't know why I thought Mormons. I feel like they're everywhere.
Yeah. No, they're just worshiping aluminum,
Oof, yikes. Well, so anyway, I have to give the rundown on this fucking trip. Okay, so
before Jamaica, you were at a wedding.
Before Jamaica, I was at my sister's wedding. So this is all very complicated because, as I said, my family is weird as fuck. Yes. So I have a sister. She's 9.5 years older than me, but, like, we didn't grow up together, except for when I was very small. So when my mom left my dad, my mom is the parent we share. So my sister lived for a little bit with me and my dad and my other brother, but, like, that didn't last very long because he was not her biological or legal parent anymore. Right. So she moved back with her dad when she was 12 and I was 2. And our brother was a few months old. So, like, we're on and off close. Like, I love my sister to death, but also we just didn't grow up together. We grew up in a very dysfunctional family. So we have our, like, moments of closeness. She's lived with me here in Warwick. Like, anyway, she is in her 40s and the most picky human on earth when it comes to men. Like, has been proposed to, I don't know, a bajillion times. She's beautiful, she's smart, she's artistic, she's all those things. And she always wanted a family, but she was like, she has a ring on her ring finger she did since she was 25 that was like, all my friends are getting married and I'm not gonna settle. No shit.
Oh my God.
This is my sister. So, like, during the pandemic, I start hearing about this guy named Sam. And they met, like, at a robotics thing. They were, like, both working for a robotics company. He is, I guess, the one that could break the whole mold. He's also younger, at like 12 or 13 years younger, so my sister's a boss. But, like, you wouldn't know it looking at
Hot
them.
mama. Yeah. No.
You've seen the pictures.
They don't look like an age gap couple. Like,
No.
you know?
I mean, my sister is blessed genetically, and he's just, like, a tall, you know, he looks 30s, and she looks 30s, and so they look...
So, apparently, it runs in the family.
Yeah, the younger thing.
Yeah.
Well, we both at the same time, like, linked up for the first time ever with a younger guy. Yeah. And if I went that much younger, I'd be dating guys in college. I could not.
Yeah, that would be weird.
But
wait, how much younger is Ian?
5.5 years.
5.5 years.
So,
hot mama.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's with this guy. But he's not from a dysfunctional family. Yeah. Like, he's from a nice family.
That must be a culture shock for her.
Well, my sister's, like, a sweet, normal person who doesn't deserve the, like, insanity of our family. And so she very much belongs in their family. Like, it was like meeting her family for the first time. I was like, oh, you're one of them. Like, this is your people. When I met all of the new sisters at the bachelorette, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, y'all got her. Okay. She converted to Judaism. Like, it's a whole thing. So when I arrive at this affair, we've got our half of the family, which is, like, I don't know, 15 people. And then, like, 10,000 of Sam's family in a children's museum for the night before. Like, the rehearsal dinner was in a children's museum that his grandfather started. So his picture's on the wall. We're talking, like, classy people who've made productive contributions to society and are, like, eloquent speakers, all this shit. And also, Sam, her now husband, went to Georgetown and was in a fraternity. So he's got a fucking 1,000 friends. Yeah. So all of them are at this event, and I get, like, an email a couple days before the wedding that's, like, breaking down all the different times different people in the wedding have to be different places, and I got all the bridesmaid shit, and then it's like, after the ceremony, there is a tradition where the couple in like, their religion and culture goes to a room for 15 minutes alone, and 2 people are chosen to guard the door.
Which I think is, like, a lot of people do that now too, right? Like, that's kind of trendy or whatever, to, like, have a
little bang sesh right after. I don't know if that's... I don't know what they were doing.
Do it? When I was
that's what I would do. I mean, right? That's what you do?
I mean...
Because you're going to be wasted and full later.
Yeah, but it's like... A wedding dress is, like, a whole getup.
Oh, but she changed into her dancing dress, too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that makes sense.
I mean, I don't know what they did.
But
they
even, like, you know, most people at their wedding, they don't actually see their new spouse, like, at all, because you're just so busy entertaining other people. So, like, just to have, like, a moment to be like, oh, yeah, we're married, I love you, I'll see you later.
You know you're, like, getting married. You're, like, planning a marriage. Is this one of your things? You're going to have the 15 minutes? I think we're going to do it
just to be like, hey, like, you know, and Raymond wants to do, like, private vows, you know.
Well, I can guard the fucking door, let me tell you.
It's all you, girl, because after that...
Okay, so in the mail, first of all, this kind of fucked me up for starters, because in the email, it said Max and Jordan are going to guard the door, and we all know who's going to be more effective at that. And then there was a link to an article about me in the Jiu-Jitsu Times.
Oh, that's cute.
Except for that my brother who died earlier this year's name is Max, and so I didn't realize that there was another guy at the wedding.
Was a mistake?
I didn't know if they had written it early and just sent it out and not checked on it, or if it was some sort of ghost joke. Like, I didn't know. I had no idea he had a friend named Max, and seeing my name with my brother's name fucked me up for like a solid day. I was like, oh, I was referred my entire life as, like, Max and Jordan, and then suddenly it was like, anyway. So
did you wait to find out who Max was?
I wasn't. What am I going to do? Fuck up my sister's wedding and bitch to her about this Max and Jordan thing? No, absolutely not. I just sucked it up and went on.
I mean, you could be like, who's Max?
I didn't want her to be like, our brother, you know? Like, who is dead.
Right.
Sad face.
Because if it was something they wrote forever ago and forgot about, like,
I didn't want to bring it up. I cried I cried probably 4 or 5 times that day. Yeah. Not to, like, bring down the mood. Don't worry. We're getting to the funny part. So... it comes time to guard the door afterwards, and Max turns out to be one of Sam's, like, I think fraternity brothers. And we're standing there guarding the door.
So
and
I didn't even realize that you were one of the guards.
Oh, yeah. So I was one of the guards at the door. which I thought was like ceremonial.
Right.
And then a massively drunk 6-foot-something friend of Sam's, I suddenly see him take this guy Max down to the ground. They're fucking tussling. He's like fighting past him to get into the door.
Wait, so there was no like conversation first? Like he didn't say anything to Max?
I don't know. I was just hanging out there by the door like, hi, great ceremonies, still wiping the tears from my eyes. And then suddenly they're on the ground. Max is like, are you gonna fucking help me? And I was like, are you serious? This is a real thing? I'm in a fucking wedding. He was like, yes, it's a real thing. Guard the door. You can't let him in.
So you're wearing a
floor length,
shiny
with a train evening gown.
Yeah.
Like
heels.
Hairs. I don't really do the heels
thing.
thing.
You were wearing heels in the picture.
There's
a
little tiny bit of heel. Yeah. Like makeup and hair done.
Right. Jewelry.
Fancy ass jewelry. So this guy, Max, he stands up. He's like panting. He had kind of pushed the other guy off to the side. He's kind of like putting his clothes back on. He's like, he's getting ready for like round 2. He's wasted. The guy, Max, is bleeding. His whole neck got sliced open by something. I was like, you guys are for real? He was like, yeah, you cannot let them in. It's like it's a religious thing. Like, he was like, I'm testing you, this other guy. So I don't know if the fighting his way in, the other guy was Catholic. So I think he just thought it was funny.
Right.
And he was just testing our like commitment to this role.
Which
but
is a bizarre thing.
The guy, Max, was Jewish. And he was very familiar with this. And I was like, I am so lost. So I don't know. I'm not Jewish.
That someone was gonna get
right. He was like, we have to protect their sacred time. And like, this guy is literally trying to get in. You have to bounce him out. He was like...
Okay, so pause. So was there a cocktail hour before the ceremony?
The whole day was a cocktail hour.
Oh, okay. So this guy's drunk. Because I'm like thinking, like, I'm just trying to like...
So part of the thing is that like they got married on Saturday. So they had to wait till sundown before anybody was allowed to do any work, which includes marrying them. So the whole day leading up to the wedding was like, my sister getting ready in the room until like 3:00. There's champagne all day. And then we have like a high tea. And then they take pictures. And then there's a cocktail hour. And then there's the ceremony. And then this happened.
Okay.
So
he is drunk. Yes.
Okay, so at this point, I'm like, okay, fuck it. Okay, I'll guard the door. He's like, because he's like yelling at me, like, where were you? You're supposed to be helping me. Because he's all cut up and shit. And I was like, I literally didn't realize we were.
You're like, I don't know. I'm standing here in a dress, and I thought that this was just a
joke.
Tradition.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I didn't think it was a joke, but I thought it was ceremonial. Like, I didn't think somebody was going to try and fight me.
Right.
Certainly not the groom's friend.
Yes.
So I was like, here's the thing. Like, I will do it. If you're serious, I'll do it. But like, you have to know that I'm serious. And like, I'm not gonna like just like play around. Like, he was like, yeah, seriously, fucking do it. So I don't remember exactly what I said in that moment. But at that point in time, this guy starts charging at the door again. And so I drop down and I double leg him and I bring him to the ground. And he is like scrambling everywhere because I don't think he had any sense that this was going to go this way. I thought he was just going to shove me to the side and it was going to be over with. He breaks all my jewelry. Literally sparkly shit flying everywhere. I just climb on his back and I put like a seatbelt grip on him, like rear naked choke style. And he starts squirming and I get my hooks in and I was like, and I just grab his like shoulder. I put my arm across and I don't sink the choke in, but I have it under his neck. And I was like, are you good now? And he's like, you're really good at this. You know what you're doing. And I was like, are you gonna chill now? And somebody's like, the photographer's coming. And I was like, great.
Yes.
And I was like, I guess we're just gonna chill here.
At this point, who's present? Just you and Max?
Me and Max, no, they're like, after Max started bleeding, a bunch of people came because he's like, he needed, he's got a suit on, he's trying to keep the blood off his shirt. Yeah. Somebody had to get him a napkin. That's the point at which somebody said, Paige's sister's about to fight this guy.
Oh my God. So there's people.
There's people gathering in the hallway. But I'm like, fuck, because now there's more people. Are more people going to try and get... Right. So, anyway, I just doubled him, and I took him down. I climbed on his back, and I put the choke in, and then he was, like, squirming around trying to get out, and he didn't get out, and I was like, okay, we good? And he does the exact same thing that, like, an upper belt will do when you get him in something real, and he's, like, coaching me. He's like, we can stay like this for the picture. I was like, homeboy, you can't get out.
Right. We can stay like this as long as I tell you we're staying like
until I feel like you have calmed the fuck down. And I don't know, just like maybe a minute or so. And then I was like, okay, are we good? And then I was fucking mad because I was wearing my little bracelet that says my brother's name on it. And he broke that shit. He broke a bunch of shit. I was just like, but then I was like, I don't know, there's a photographer, I guess this is funny, like, I was just trying to, like, swim past it, because this was all in the span of, like, 2 minutes.
Right.
So
after he got up, he just walked away, like, he was fine, he was chill.
Well, it was about the time when they started they asked, Sam and Paige asked for water. And so then the door got opened because they had asked us to, and I think at that point he, like, wandered off.
Yeah.
It was just...
So, was anyone mad at him?
No, I think they were just, like, laughing and drunk. Everyone was drunk!
Right, yeah, so there was no, like, reasonable response to it. So what did Paige say about the whole thing? She thought it was hilarious. Like, she was, I mean, the photographer got pictures, I got to do some jiu-jitsu. I didn't tell her about the bracelet because I didn't want to bum her out. Right.
Like, I just, you just...
Right.
Flip into this is my sister's wedding mode, and it was honestly it made me really angry in the moment because I was like, I don't like, this isn't supposed to be happening right now.
Right.
But after the fact, the pictures are funny, the story was funny. I was like, okay, the bracelet's fixable. I'll fix it. Like, what a day. Oh my God.
And where was Ian?
He was sitting at our table waiting for me to come back out after finishing my duties of watching the store.
So you come back out and you tell him this?
I was like, I pull my bracelet out of my bra because I had put it in there. And I was like, I had to jiu-jitsu a guy. Can you hold this for me?
And he's like, what?
He was like, what? What happened? I was like, there's going to be pictures later. Don't worry.
So what was that guy's plan if he got in the room? Like, what was he...
I think he was one of Sam's frat brothers, so, like, it was just gonna be like, oh, like, fuck you, I got in, that was the whole energy. And then somebody told Max, the guy who got cut on the neck, that it was a mitzvah, which...
A what?
A mitzvah, which I think is a blessing to get, like, to have defended the honor of the room and get injured. I don't know what that means. Correct me if I'm wrong, my bad.
I don't know. I have
But because bar mitzvah, it's like, maybe it's a rite of passage. I don't know. I should Google it before I publish this, honestly, and not embarrass myself, but it's okay. I've been to 1,000 Passovers and bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, I still don't know what it means.
No.
My sister's Jewish now, I could ask her. Anyway, and oh my God, I wonder if anybody's watching this on video. I wore those shoes, and I knew that it was, like, sore, and I took them off at the end of the day, and, like, I was like, this shit is gonna be so swollen and bruised. It did this crazy thing. Look how big that bruise is. Can you see this? It's my whole foot. It was swollen out to here like a black eye, and then
how the hell did that even happen?
They were, like, rubbing against my foot in a fucked up way, like it smashed against my foot. It had, like, the high ankle.
Oh my God.
Completely wrecked my foot.
Careful, all the foot fetish people are gonna come out for this one.
Oh God, they always do. Yuck. Yeah, you want to see my janky, bruised, nasty foot?
Yeah, this is going to be the title of the podcast. Jordan shows her feet.
They'll be like, what else is new? Oh my God, I changed my my actual Instagram to private because I need one to be private, and I was starting to delete people that I don't know, but it got overwhelming, so I stopped. But somebody requested me yesterday who had just liked half of the Rear Naked Chicks posts. And then I go, like, I click on it to see, like, who is this person? And it's, like, says something about, like, fetishes are great. And I was like, nope, you can't follow me.
No.
Do whatever you want, but don't follow my personal page.
Yeah, and also, like, if you're on the internet because of your fetish, like, power to you. But do you have to tell people that's why you're looking at their stuff, Can't you just, like, keep that to yourself?
I feel like it's totally fine if you're in that environment.
Right. But I'm talking about a random person like you.
Yeah, no, it feels like not consensual. It feels like
it's voyeuristic,
Right, like don't. No, I don't want to have that interaction with you. I didn't invite it.
Yeah.
I don't know, creepers. Anyway, yeah. So, that was my second time ever using jiu-jitsu in the wild.
I didn't even know you had a first time in the wild.
Well, it was just not at jiu-jitsu, but one of Ian's friends challenged me at
right.
the time I got punched in the face.
Yeah.
Shout out, Lonnie.
Which is incredible that he just was like, I'm going to punch my friend's girlfriend in the face.
Again, alcohol was involved.
That seems to be, the determining ingredient in all of these situations.
I posted something not that long ago about how it's a bad idea to do drunk jiu-jitsu, and a shocking number of people were like, why would you say it's a bad idea? It's the most fun I ever have. I always
fun
do.
And bad idea. Like that, just because something's fun doesn't mean it's not a bad idea.
A lot of fun things are really bad ideas.
I know. I've like choked like consenting people unconscious like while drunk, which I'm like is a very bad idea. But the funniest time was Ray and I were at a comedy show, and we were sitting like right in the front, and the comedian, it was, I don't even know, are you into comedy at all? Yeah. Or no? It was Louis J. Gomez. I don't know if you know who that is.
I know.
So he's like, he's just like fucking with us because we're sitting right in front of him, and I think either I or Ray was wearing some kind of jiu-jitsu related like hoodie, and so I make a good joke like I'll choke him unconscious, and he's like, I bet you can't, that kind of thing. And then like, so I choke him, and keep in mind, we are wasted. Like, we're at this comedy show and we are so drunk, so I choke him unconscious, and immediately I'm like, that was not a good idea. And Louis J. Gomez is just like, what the fuck? And like, whatever. So we move on. But then, and then Ray, he completely goes out, and then he's like conscious again. He's sitting there, he's watching. And then like, I kid you not, 2 minutes later, he looks at me and he goes, did you choke me unconscious? Like, he had forgotten everything that had just happened. And this was like a delayed amount of time. And I was like, ooh, I should not have done that. Like, it took me several minutes of being conscious again to remember that happened. Like, no. So I try not to make a habit of it, even though it can be entertaining.
Yeah, I feel like I've only ever done it as a party trick once, and I only did it because the guy who wanted to be choked was about to let somebody far less responsible do it, and I was like, if it's happening, like, I would feel safer if it was not this brand new white belt who doesn't know what they're doing. But it still makes me uncomfortable thinking that it ever happened. I'm like, should not have done that. But again, some idiot's about to do something just for fun. You kind of want to minimize the risk, I guess.
Yeah.
I should have just been like, don't fucking do that in my house.
Oh, and it's in your house?
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. Please stop choking each other in my house. But, I also definitely have initiated drunk jiu-jitsu in my house. So.
Yeah.
Especially now I got this house full of mats.
I know.
That's a recipe for disaster.
It's a huge mat room.
I should just have people over to do jiu-jitsu more often so that we don't have to use it drunk. Just do it sober.
Yeah.
Speaking of drunk, guess who got drunk? Drunk in Jamaica.
My brother?
Yes, correct. For the first time, I think, ever, I just watched him. He's just pouring shots. He just got over his fear of alcohol, I guess.
Because he's a sweet drink boy, right? Like, he doesn't want it to taste like alcohol.
But then he realized that he was not getting drunk by drinking pina coladas that were like 5% alcohol.
Right.
So he just was like, well, the only way to make it worth it is to do a shot first.
Like, he couldn't do an extra shot in a drink. He had to just go straight for the shots.
Yeah, but then he was just going for shots between drinks. Interesting fact, he's the exact same person drunk, he just dances more.
I've never seen him dance.
He danced at my sister's wedding, like dance. Like dance with me, like swing dancing.
What are his moves?
I mean, just like you would expect. He's comfortable enough if we're like, like moving around. He doesn't look stupid. He's not going too hard. He's not doing anything shocking. Just kind of swinging from side to side, whatever.
I can't even.
He does a little bit of this.
Oh my God, it's stupid. From our mother. That's our mother's go-to.
If you're just listening, I'm doing the pointy disco
pointy
fingers.
And then she does like the lip bite while she does it too. It's really cringy.
The white man's overbite bite?
Yes. Oh my God. I don't really dance either. I think we're just not a very dancing family.
My family is incredibly dancing. So my sister had an incredible band. It was like a 10-piece band. They were so talented too. Wow. And they were doing all the hits, every song from every generation. They did, what did they do? What is the wobble? How did my 13-year-old daughter know this dance? She gets in a line. She was like, I learned it at camp. I was so proud of my child.
Yeah.
Wow, you just spanned the generational gap here, kid. So cute. So cute.
One of our counselors is cool then.
Yeah. Or old.
Or old. All right, kids, I'm going to teach you the wobble.
She knows how to Dougie. Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't. I can't dance.
I dropped off after Macarena.
Yeah.
I don't.
I can kind of do that one, right? That's just the...
Yeah, we're Macarenaing.
Why?
Yeah. Oh, well, that's just letters. That's just spelling.
Did you do it?
No, they didn't do it at that, but there was some electric sliding, there was some cha-cha sliding. I don't know. I danced enough, I think. My foot, apparently, I have to send my sister a picture of this. If I was dancing less than you expected me to, it's because my foot was turning purple and I didn't know it. My foot hurts so bad.
Oh my god. So you're trying to just dance through the pain, or were you drunk enough you didn't notice it? Not hurt?
I was not about to get that drunk at my sister's wedding.
Yeah.
Too many landmines.
Yeah.
Good
So
times.
there was a lot of dancing, though. You guys did dance a lot.
Oh, yeah.
See, like, I feel like when I go to weddings, a lot of people are not dancing.
They made it very clear in all invitations and communication before the wedding that dancing was going to be an important part of the wedding.
Yeah, but how you can't. Yeah, I guess.
I think if you put that expectation in front of people, like the bride and groom want people to dance.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's a question that really pertains to this podcast more. Are you gonna have mats at your wedding?
Mats?
Yeah. You gonna be that
Grappling
couple that
mats.
does jiu-jitsu in your wedding dress?
Oh, no. No. I am a classy lady.
What if I bring them?
Oh my, I don't even know. I'm trying to think how many people at our wedding actually train.
The only people that matter train the bride and groom.
Yeah, but like who?
Wait, can we invite Vlad? Maybe he can give you guys a stripe or something.
I mean, Vlad's invited, but I doubt he's gonna come because he lives in Texas. So it's like,
does he listen to this podcast? Beg, look at the camera.
Please come to our wedding. I mean, we invited him. But flying from Texas to New York for a wedding is kind of a lot.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, a couple of our friends train, but like, the vast majority of the wedding does not train.
Well, you can get Vlad to do some seminars out here while he's here, and work
I think
it
he's
out.
supposed to do a seminar at Batai in the spring.
So make it be the fall.
Switch to the fall, come to the wedding. Actually, do the seminar at the wedding, and then we'll just get married.
He can marry you, in fact.
That would actually be amazing.
Who is marrying you?
Our friend Calvin is gonna.
Oh,
Calvin!
Let's talk about Calvin!
Calvin, who's also coming to Thanksgiving.
Let's talk about Calvin! Guys, I need you to know that I'm from California.
Yeah,
I am not from a world where people just have guns.
Yeah.
Cops have guns. Criminals have guns. Someone who does some sort of sport hunting in the woods maybe has a gun at their father's.
Sports hunting in the woods.
I never saw a gun until, like in person, a handgun. Not until I started dating.
You never saw one?
Never even saw one with my own eyes. No. A handgun? I had seen a rifle 2 times. So when I tell you, we were out at a nice little bar here in Warwick, and I had a friend from out of town visiting. Maggie came because I wanted him to meet Maggie. We were there with my boyfriend, Maggie's brother, and her boyfriend or fiance shows up, and then he's gonna have to leave because he's got a friend who wants to hang. He had a commitment to him prior, and I said, invite him to the house. We'll go back to the house. No big deal. He wants to make burgers. Grill him up. I got a grill. Yeah. No problem. Oh, boy.
So he shows up.
Yeah. So we're hanging out on my back porch, and he pulls his backpack out. What did he pull out of his backpack, Maggie?
He pulled out his handgun.
There's just a gun. Like, we're just drunk, first of all. Why? It sounds like we drink a lot. I barely even drink.
I know. I drink, like, maybe once a month, or probably less than that. But all the good stories happen from that.
That's when the stories come out. Okay, so
we
have
to be
been
fair,
drinking.
The gun was not loaded.
I couldn't tell you if a gun is a laser pointer. I don't know the difference. It's just a gun. It's a full-on gun, and 3 drunk men are passing it around. And I'm like, bro. Wait, I first of all, I never met this man before in my life.
So he had just gotten his handgun permit, like, I don't even know, a couple months prior, probably. So he had just bought this new handgun since, like, now he could because he had the permit. So he just wanted to, like, show us, like, hey, guys, look at my new gun. Because
you and Ray are, like, from the world where it's comfortable, and Ian's a cop. Everyone's from the world where it's a comfortable, normal thing. We have guns. We show them to each other. We're friendshipping. There's guns. I am not from that world. So my buddy Stevie is like holding the gun, and
you get up and you run inside.
She's like,
runs
okay, wait.
inside. She's like, I can't handle this.
In my defense, Steve is a very wonderful, intelligent, kind human. I don't think he's a gun guy.
No.
He is he's a gay man from New Jersey who likes to cook and drink wine. I don't think he's particularly well versed in a Glock or whatever it was.
Right.
Is it a Glock?
I don't even know.
I don't know anything about guns. So I was like, honestly, I love you, Stevie, but if you accidentally kill me because this random man I don't know is trying to show you his gun and you don't know what to do with it, I'm gonna leave my children motherless. Like, I'm going inside. And then I'm basically hoping that my cop boyfriend, who I know knows stuff about guns, will make sure that it's not loaded and it's safe over there. I was terrified. I was like, it was like somebody was holding a bomb or like a grenade and they pulled the pin. Like,
you're just like, I gotta go.
So we'll be seeing each other for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so now he's gonna join us for Thanksgiving.
So, wait,
but what?
Real Thanksgiving or Monday
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving?
No, you won't be there. Well, what are you doing on real Thanksgiving?
I don't know.
Because he was gonna come over on real Thanksgiving.
Got it.
But I said, please don't bring a gun to my parents' home. I clarified the expectation that he would not, in fact, bring a gun this time.
Because your parents are like me in that they would be very uncomfortable with it.
For sure.
Okay, well, shout out in the comments if you understand what it's like to be completely terrified of firearms. And I have to date a guy who has to carry one on him all the time. It's scary. I held it one time and I was like, no.
I mean, like, I mean, it depends on the person, right? I know Calvin, and Calvin is, like, he's a gun enthusiast. Like, that is his, like, special interest. So, like, you know, and, like, all the rules of gun safety, like, Calvin knows it's unloaded, but he still, you know, checks when he pulls out his backpack.
Oh,
right, you know what I mean?
Like, I wouldn't even know what he was doing if he was looking to see if it's unloaded.
Right.
So unless he was like, hi, stranger. Here's the thing. I'm a professional at this. I know exactly what I'm doing. This is not loaded. And unless I throw it at your head, it can't hurt you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassing lack of knowledge for me.
It's fine. It's not really a knowledge you need, you know?
I feel like since there's one in my house at all times, I wish that I was more comfortable with it, but it really does. It skeeves me out like llamas.
Guns are just like llamas.
I have the same like visceral reaction to that where I'm just like,
I mean, have you ever like shot a gun?
One time it was a rifle, and there's actually the photo that was taken was a live photo, and you can see me like being like after I shoot it.
Well, Ian could take you, right, and get you a little more comfortable.
He's joked about it before. I don't know. We'll see. I just, I got these guns.
Got these bad boys.
This is my sick flex, my tiny little. I'm semi-strong. Ian likes to laugh at me when I say that. He's like, yeah, you're really strong. Whatever. And he just picks up heavy things all the time.
I know. Meatball of a man.
Yeah, he really is. He's in a little Italian meatball.
He's a little Italian meatball.
We were watching UFC on the plane, and I forget who was fighting, but it was a guy who was exactly Ian's height, but he weighed 135 pounds. And I was like,
God.
Ian, you weigh 70 pounds more than that man. Like, how? 70. Wild. That's like half a person. And he's not fat.
Yeah, it's just like he's just like wide. He's just like
a tank.
Like, but not like this way. Like,
he's got
this way.
Big everything. His head's big.
There's a guy I trained with who's built like literally exactly like Ian. Like, he's probably close to his height.
So
like
he's hot.
Same thing.
Sorry. Continue.
It's just weird. I mean, he might be shorter than Ian, actually.
I don't know how much shorter I could go than Ian.
And he's like, he's like 200 pounds. And I'm like, I don't.
I want to say what I have to say, but I know he's your brother and
it's
just meaty. I probably never liked skinny guys or tall guys because they reminded me of my brother. I never went for blonde guys, I never went for skinny guys, and I never went for tall guys. I had one tall husband.
One of my many husbands was tall. I don't think I have like a physical type.
But have you ever dated a guy who looked like Ian? I think it creates an aversion. It's my theory that if you're like very close with an opposite sex sibling, that you never date anyone that looks anywhere close to them because you're like, yuck.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever dated like a little, like a, you know,
a meatball,
a bulldog,
a meaty boy, a thick
boy,
one,
you know, like thick as in fat, yes,
no,
but like
thick as in muscular.
No, but I'm saying like me, like I've dated like fatties, but not, but not like the, you know.
This is one for the books, guys. Don't come for Maggie, okay? She loved those boys. That is not a negative thing.
No, I like when I started dating Ray, he was a sad boy, you know, and then of course I came and made his life better. Right. But he was like, you know, he was pretty fat, like compared to how he is now. And
I cannot picture Ray fat.
It's like you could see it in his face, and then but it was like deceptive because he doesn't really hold weight in his arms, but it was like in his like tummy. And I remember when he took his shirt off, I was like, oh damn, like he's got some stuff going on, you know, like some extra. He's a little extra,
a little jiggle.
And then he got happy and lost weight, and I was like, wait, but I liked it when you were like fat. Like I like a fatter boy, you know, like
a thick boy. Got it,
a thick boy. And he's no longer a thick boy, which makes me sad. But he had like the love handle.
You gotta feed him more.
He's like very concerned about not being a thick boy, which.
Well, he could be a lifter boy like Ian. Would he be a big boy like that and be okay with it? Ian, you could literally hurt his feelings by calling him skinny or fat. What
is his preferred adjective?
He just wants to be big.
You're a big boy.
Ew. I mean, I could say that to him. I think he might squirm a little if he said it. This episode, so I just turned on the camera because we haven't hung out since I left, and I was like, I don't feel like telling you everything twice, so we're just gonna record it. So this is the closest
walk in the house, we put it on, and we're like, all right, we're catching up.
This is the closest thing to just a conversation between me and Maggie that's possible in a recording. Oh my god. Well, yeah, I told Ian 100,000 times, like, I'll love you no matter what, but please don't get skinny.
Yeah, I don't like the skinny. I think I'm too skinny, you know? Like
eat up, baby.
I think everybody should just be like a little fat, you know?
A little thicker.
Like,
put it on. Well, you should go to these all-inclusives, let me tell you. Holy shit.
Yeah, I called you guys and snapped you guys like several times throughout your vacation, and you would like not stop raving about the food. Like
all we did was eat. Like, I mean, we went scuba diving.
Yeah.
And then if we weren't underwater, we were stuffing food in our faces. When you're in the room, there's 24-hour-a-day room service.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you, this chili nachos fucked my life up. They were so good. You get multi-layer chocolate cake, ice cream, sandwiches, French fries, anything, to the room at any hour of the day.
Like, how do you not just eat until you throw up?
Well, we didn't throw up, but we never got hungry. Like,
right.
There was never a point in time where we were like, maybe time to eat. It was always just like, can we put more food on top of the food from before?
It's been 30 minutes. Do you think we can fit more?
Honestly, so disgusting. We went to the store yesterday when we got home, and we were like, okay, so we're getting like white fish, vegetables,
spinach.
We're not allowed to eat real food for at least a week. Ian got on the scale. He's like, not as bad as I thought.
How much did he gain?
203. No, so I think he was like 190 before.
So he gained 13 pounds on your how many day vacation?
6.
Ow.
Killing the game. Oh my god. Yeah. But it was so good we booked the next one while we were there. They talked drunk Ian into it. So
oh my god.
No, it's awesome. Like I want to not think about anything or do anything on vacation, and I'm just the fucking dumbest person on earth. I decided to start a real estate deal with my cousins right before leaving. So I've got some mortgage broker calling me the whole time trying to get me to open a document to sign it. I was like, it won't open in Jamaica. I don't know what to tell you. There's a firewall or something. Like, I'm just fucked. I'm just stressing out. I'm on a boat. She's like, can you put it on your desktop? I was like, I'm on a boat!
on your desktop.
I didn't bring my fucking laptop
Right.
to go scuba diving. I realize this sounds like the brattiest thing in all of life, but, you know, also just...
My real estate broker had the audacity to call me while I was on a boat.
I've always wanted to go into business with this cousin of mine because she's a financial genius. She's a real estate and planning attorney, and she does, like, her whole thing is about, like, creating legacy wealth for Black families.
Yeah.
That side of my family's Black. And she's just a fucking badass. And I was like, I don't know, we've been best friends since I was like 18. The second there was an opportunity to do something with her, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Anything you do, I know will be successful. Anyway, check my cousin out. If you're looking for an estate planning attorney in California, Wood Legal Group, shout out. Wow, this is all over the fucking place. Okay, let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
No questions today because I was gone and I didn't ask any and I don't have any answers right now.
Yeah.
Here's some advice, free advice. Don't do work on vacation.
Yes. And be safe on Halloween.
And don't choke your friends when you're drunk.
Especially not on Halloween.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Bye.